To lifestyle training today for IMAPP. I'm your trainer, Lazaro. I work directly with IMAPP. I'm actually a director there, and I've been doing this for a very long time, so you are in good hands today. I want to give a special thanks to your office and your office staff for helping me set this training up. Just want to remind everybody the class is recorded, so you can go back and review. All right, so today's class focuses on prospecting. How could I help you increase your business? So what I'm going to show you today is a combination of things in IMAPP that you won't find anywhere else in one place to make your life easier. I see agents, they go over here to do one search, they go over here to do their labels, and they go over here to do another search. I'm going to help you save some time where you can do a lot of those things right here on IMAPP. So to get to IMAPP, many of you know through the association, through Matrix or the dashboard, you should be able to access IMAPP relatively quick. Okay, so what's the topics that we're going to cover today? Delinquent taxes, unoccupied addresses, inter-family transfers, how to create labels, how to do a Miami-Dade eviction search in the county and combine that with information on IMAPP that can help you, and then a couple of tips of what you could do with IMAPP, like where you can go print your postcards, how can you convert some of the reports that you see in IMAPP into images for sharing, etc. Okay, so delinquent taxes. This search, from my understanding, is not available in other products that you have through the association. So take advantage. So we're going to go up here, tax search in the county. We're going to keep it Miami-Dade, but I always like showing and reminding everybody that you can search anywhere in the state of Florida. So if you have a friend or a family member that's thinking of moving or selling a property somewhere else that's not Miami-Dade, you still could do CMA reports here on IMAPP. You want to emphasize that IMAPP, the way that they gather information is directly from county records. So the CMA is highly reliable. There's other systems that don't go into a county level to get tax data. That's what we're known for in IMAPP. If you don't believe me, next time you enter a listing in Matrix, you're going to see when you click add listing, it says import from IMAPP tax data. All right. So let's put here a zip code. So what zip code do we want to target? So let's say 33018. So that's the Hialeah area. And we're going to look for single family homes. So I'm going to go jump down here, property use code. And now the delinquent taxes. So I'm going to go up here to year built, and I'm going to switch it. Taxes are delinquent, and I'm going to say yes. Okay, so very straight to the point, easy to do. And once I click on search, you'll be surprised how many you find. 54. So why is delinquent taxes important to help you gain in your business a potential buyer or seller? Because before in the past, and I'm not saying there's something wrong with this, but before the goal was, you got to get leads and homeowners with equity, right? What's the constant thing we're hearing lately? I have equity, and if I sell, where am I going to move to? So delinquent taxes, you know that this person, unfortunately, is in a particular situation where they'll be more motivated to sell, okay? So here's our list, 54. Okay, you want to target homeowners that are individuals, because if it's a corporation, then you got to find out who's the owner of the corporation. Corporation usually has bylaws, so when they're going to sell property, it might take longer to sell. I'm not saying you can't target owners that are corporation, but I would recommend stick with like number 3. That's an individual. Unlike number 1, you see here it says in Jimenez Investment Corp. Okay, so let's open up number 3 here. So let's scroll down to where it says value information. Why is this box important? Because it tells you how much they owe in taxes. So if you look down here, it says property has been recorded as delinquent. You click on the county tax collector link and IMAPP directly connects you so you can see how much they owe. Now, I wouldn't concentrate too much on what they owe because you don't know this person's situation. You know, I've seen bills here for $500, $1,000, but you never know. They might own more than one property. They might have lost their job. But in this particular case, it's a lot of money they owe, $18,993. So let's go back here to IMAPP. What's another piece of important information here in the value box that can say, hey, this person's delinquent taxes, and what can give us an indication that they might also are high on that list that they want to sell? Look at this, where it says building value and land value. Okay, assessed value with the county. Look at the percentage change from 221, 261%. And in 2022, 30.97% in value change. That affects us everything from taxes and so on. Not everything, but a lot of things. Okay, so this could be another reason why this individual, you know, the high taxes. Okay, so they bought it in 2020, right? Their taxes were $3,000. 2021, boom, jumped to $8,000. 2022, $9,000. Hence, delinquent taxes, we can get a clear indication in the percent change here. Okay. All right. So what could I do with this individual is try to reach out to them, you know, send them, you know, a postcard directly. You know, IMAPP does a great thing where you go here to the name and it clicks to whitepages.com. So sometimes you'll be able to find a phone number there. And also you guys know a lot of websites where you can find the phone numbers. See, I'm going to click here, see if I'm able to get anything. Okay, sometimes you get this information for free. Sometimes you don't. I don't know why. Okay. I think one of the popular places is Spookeo, okay, to be able to get phone numbers. So that's a good tip. All right, so let's go back here to my results. So let's say this is my farming area, 33018, and I wanted to create mailing labels for this area. Now,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you say the name of the skip tracing company that you just said like 2 seconds ago?
Yeah, I think this is a popular one. Let me see. Spookeo. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. There you
Thank
go.
you.
You're welcome. Hey, feel free to interrupt me. I love it. I love the questions. Okay. So let's keep going here. Here's my list of mailing labels. You know, you can do that many places, but you know, it becomes, you know, the combination, what I said in the beginning, being able to do the tax delinquency search and the labels at the same time. So what are some tips here on my list? Again, you know, you don't want to target a corporation. So let's say I remove number 1. You also don't want to target a property that's currently for sale. So if I look through the list here, I don't see any for sale. Some of you might be wondering, how does he know? So if you scroll here on top of the listing sign, it'll tell you. if it closed, if it's withdrawn. So the one that you want to avoid is one in green that currently means active for sale. So it's unethical to reach out to a property. So once you select the properties you want to make sure you commit your changes. And then you go over here to the right, create mail labels. Straight to the point, you want to send it to the owner's address. Now, sometimes, we have concerns, or is the post office going to return my letter? So here's another tip. You want to add the words current resident, okay, on your label. Want to make sure that doesn't get returned. And then also anything duplicate, and you want labels with a valid zip code, because from my understanding, the post office, if it doesn't have a valid zip code, they won't send it out. So now the question becomes, okay, what paper do I buy in the store? Okay, we give you a couple of templates here. The most popular one is Avery 5160. So now you got to download it to your computer. So it becomes a question is, are you going to print the labels at home? Or are you going to send this to a company to do the labels for you? Because they're also going to do the postcard. Okay. Or do you want to download this list and then upload it to another website? So let's use the first example. I'm going to print it at home. So I would recommend you go directly here, generate labels in PDF format. Okay. Gives you a PDF where you can open up, put the Avery 5160 in your printer, and then print them. So let me go back here. Let's say I have a company that's going to do my labels. Then I would recommend download it as a CSV file, Excel, generate it, and then you can send that as an attachment to the company that's going to do the postcards for you. But let's say the CSV file, you're going to use some product online to print your postcards. So there's many programs online that you could do. The one that I recommend, and they actually have a relationship with the association, is Everyday Direct Door Mail. Now be careful when you Google this, right? There's a bunch of them that come out. You want to make sure you open the website that has the United States Postal Service, USPS.com link when you open it up, okay? And then you go over here to the Everyday Direct Mail online tool, and you'll be able to pick out your postcard and all that. Now, they tend to be a little bit higher on the price side, but you know what I say? If something ever goes wrong, okay, or something happens with a charge on your credit card, you want to be able to call a place where you can talk to somebody, and if they need to make some changes or corrections or give you your money back, to me, that's worth spending a little bit extra, okay, as opposed to you go to some online website, they might be charging you, I don't know, $50 less, but then something happens to your order, they mess up and they tell you, you know what, too bad, they don't have the reputation as the United States Postal Service. I'm not saying every business, but if you want to be able to do that just in case something goes wrong, then this is the way to go. All right, let me go back here to IMAPP. Let me return to my results. So I'm going to go here, search results. So tax delinquency is huge, right? So I recommend when you do any of these searches that I'm going to show you today on IMAPP is to save them. What? Save? Yeah, a lot of people don't know that you can save your searches on IMAPP. Believe it or not, it's over here to the right. It's there in plain sight, but a lot of us seem to miss it. So if you click here, save this search, I'll give it a name, taxes, zip code 33018, and I'm going to date it to you. I'm going to say November 15th, 2022. Save. So the question becomes, how do I find this in the future? If you go up here, new search, over here to the right, my saved searches. So the beauty of this is once you save it, you could always change it and just swap out the zip code because the criteria is the same. Okay, so let me see. I have quite a few that are, here we go. Oh, nope, wrong one. Here it is. So what do you mean swap out? So here the criteria, delinquent taxes, single family. So I'll just swap out the zip code 3315. Search. And then repeat the same steps. Save. So about 2 or 3 areas, you should have a delinquent tax search saved here on IMAPP. Okay, farming area. Another area that's not your farming area, but maybe you have a potential buyer looking to buy in that area. Okay. So let's move on to the next topic. Again, things that we have here on IMAPP that you won't be able to find anywhere else. Okay. So I'm going to put in another zip code. Let's say this time 33134. So this is, South Miami, Coral Gables area. And I'm going to go here and choose unoccupied address. So what does that mean? IMAPP is verifying, okay, certain information that the property is not occupied, so vacant. It's not the same as absentee owner. Absentee owner, usually you have the property rented out, okay? So I'm going to say yes here for unoccupied, single family homes, and let's search. 101 properties, okay? So the property is vacant. Now, how could I increase my chance of getting one of these properties as a listing to sell? Okay, I'm going to go back here to refine, and I'm going to say, I'm going to change here building area to owners for the resident, and I'm going to say no, because if the property is empty and they live outside of Florida in another state, that means they need an expert here. Okay, don't think, oh, okay, they could just go to Zillow and see how the market. No, it doesn't work that way. Your boots on the ground, right? You know this area, better than a website, how it's doing, what they can get for their property, the comp sales. You can explain that out to them. So let's see how many we get now. By the way, that owner is for the resident. No. Quick tip, you can do that for delinquent taxes as well. Okay, so I get 7 of them. The first 2, confidential owner, could be a police officer, somebody in government, okay? So you can skip down to number 3. Okay, here's an individual. Number 4, another individual. Okay, so you can do the same thing. You can do labels if you want to. Do the skip trace with the tip that I gave you. Okay. So if you do the skip trace and you're able to find somebody's email or phone number, whatever it may be, the question becomes, what do you send them, right? So let's see here. I opened up 1243 Soraya Avenue. The tax mailing address is somebody that lives in the Dominican Republic. I want to target somebody that actually lives in a state, because these skip trace websites, they're not going to give you somebody's email if they're out of the country, okay? Most of the time, from what I've seen, they could. But let's go here. Marianne lives in, looks like Connecticut, okay? Lives in Connecticut, cold up there, so maybe we're thinking this is a winter home, but it might be the time that Mary wants to sell, okay? So you be proactive, right? So you can go over here to the right, and I would send Mary, if you're able to find her contact information online, I will send her a quick CMA. So what's great about IMAPP is there's not a lot of moving parts, right? Within a map or buttons or all that. You can just go down here, say, you know what, give me the comparables in a mile, see if I get anything. There we go, 3 comparables. And if you find this person's contact information, go over here to the right, email the page, and what you see is what you get. So straight to the point. A map with a high, low, average, and median price per square foot. Wow, I'm not too sure I'm reading this correctly, but this price of this home is almost $5 million. Wow. I know it's the Coral Gables area, but I'm very familiar with it because since I used to work at the board is right over here on Alcazar, and I kept track of this area all the way back since 2006. So it's surprising to see how far along it's come around. I think this used to be about $1 million to $2 million back in 2012. Okay. That's another conversation for another day. All right. So that's unoccupied. Let's move on to the next topic. So let's go back
here. Sorry to
interrupt
you one more time. Is Coral Gables like your farming area?
Mine, no. Actually, I'm not a realtor. But okay. If you're thinking of a farming area, 33134 is pretty good, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people think Coral Gables,
well, I live in Coral Gables, so that would be where like I would start for my farming to redo everything. So I was just gonna say that would be good to pick your brain and team up with you if you're already over here in this area, but you're not.
Thank you for that offer. I appreciate it. What I was gonna mention is a lot of people, since Coral Gables is a great city, always think, oh, Coral Gables is #1, Brickell. But you'll be surprised, the area that continues to be #1 since I've been doing this 2006, year after year, month after month, is the area code 33157. So Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay area. I've seen no matter in the highs of 2006 to the lows in 2012 to 2015 to the highs now, that area always has movement and activity. Because, Coral Gables is great, it has activity, but it's much smaller, right? So something to come up for sale there and sell, it's not that much inventory, as opposed to Palmetto Bay, Pinecrest, bigger area. Okay. Let's keep it going. So the next topic, what else could I do? Again, motivated individuals, not just equity. Everybody's always thinking, I don't mean to sound repetitive here, but everybody wants to target properties with equity. Equity is not, these days is not going to be the only thing to move the needle to convince somebody to sell. So let's stick with this, the zip code I told you now, 33157. And let's choose now sales deed type. So in sales deed type, in IMAPP, here are your choices. The one I recommend is called interfamily transfer and dissolution. Why? Because divorces fall under this category. Not all divorces, okay? But divorces fall under this category. So if somebody just got divorced, this person is staying with that property. Now maybe they're reduced to one income, right? So maybe they can't continue making the payments, unfortunately, on the property. So let's put here single family homes. Now an interfamily transfer is just like a sale. So you need to put a sale date. So let's get everybody from the beginning of the year, January 1st, 2022. Again, it's not 100% sure, okay? So we didn't get any family transfers in 2022. How about 2021? It could be the area. I tell you, 33157 is always an area in demand. Okay, so back in 2021, there were 337 individuals So again, from this list, target individuals, not corporations, not if the property is listed. Okay. Now you can combine, you can go back here to refine and you say, you know what, let's add delinquent taxes as well. So, intrafamily transfer, behind under taxes, and let's see if we get anything. 4. Now you're adding layer upon layer of why somebody will be motivated, increasing your chances that one of these individuals might want to sell. This is really specific, targeted. Make really good use of your marketing campaign. I see individuals, they'll send postcards to 300 people in a community, and 300, yeah, they might have equity, but that's it. There's nothing else happening there. As opposed to, I'd rather you spend your money on 4 individuals here, highly probable that they will sell. Okay. Let's go back to refine. Now let's take out the delinquent taxes. Now IMAPP also gives you phone numbers, okay? Not for every property. That's why I gave you the tip of that Skip Trace website. But you go here to the options, okay? And we're gonna put phone number. So the trick in IMAPP for the phone number is just put a dash, okay? There's no yes or no. That's not the way IMAPP works, okay? So by putting a dash, you should get any phone number that's available through the system, okay? And you get 19. That's pretty good. So we go here, number 2, for example, for Carol, okay? Here's the phone number, but it's on the do not call list. So there's another way IMAPP helps you, okay? Let's see if we can get one here that's not on the do not call list. Here we go. So Patricia, here's Patricia's phone number. Now, I like to say, even though IMAPP is telling you it's not on the do not call list, there's no system that's 100%, okay? And what you want to do is you want to always double check. I believe the office has a do not call list. If not, here's another tip. I know Florida has a do not call list where you could do it to stop spam calls, but use it in reverse, like to check if a number is registered. So if you go to Google and type in Florida do not call list, the one that you want to use is this one, fdacs.gov. So I'm going to open this up. Also, if you want to register for your number, right, on the do not call list, if you haven't done so, might want to do it. So here, to the right, verify your number on Florida's do not call list. So let's see, I'm going to go back to the tab. It was a 786-250 number. So 786-250. 3008. 3008. Verify. Not registered. So IMAPP told you it's not on the do not call list. Here it's telling you it's not on the do not call list. So if you call this individual and they tell you, hey, I'm on the do not call list, no need to fight with them. You don't need to prove, hey, you're not. I can show you, just say, okay, I apologize, and that's it. And you don't need to talk any further with that individual. It's not, I need to prove you wrong conversation. All right, this is great. So what's another tip that I have here on IMAPP? Okay, that can help me gain my business, or if it's your farming area, I've always said this, that there's one thing that you should really know, at least one thing in your farming area, is how many foreclosures are going to enter your farming area, because that could potentially affect the value of homes. Or if you have a property that's listed, you could tell your seller, hey, look, there were just 20 foreclosures properties filed here recently. You keep this property market on a lot longer, these 20 properties might, okay, there's nothing for certain, but might lower the price. So if you go here, you search, and you go to foreclosure search. So I'm going to put here 33134 Gables area. Okay. I know there's more than one zip code, but this zip code in the Gables also covers that area known as Little Gables. So that's why I'm using it. And I'm going to go here. Let's see. Judgment sale day. I'm going to switch it to list pendants. I'm going to say yes. Give me single family. And then filing date. That's important. Do you want to target foreclosures that the filing was a couple years ago or recently? I would say a good tip is in the last 6 months. So we'll say May 1st, 2022. And let's go here, search 13. Okay. Now, what's a great thing that you can do with this list here, even if you don't deal with foreclosures? If I were you, I would do a screenshot of this, just a search. And I would put in my Facebook, list pendants, source, IMAPP. It's always a good idea to put the source in 33134. Why? Because you need to create things that is going to get somebody's attention, your friends, your family. They're going to be like, oh, Lazaro just posted foreclosures in 33134. And they're gonna look at this list, and they're not going to be able to duplicate the list in the public websites, because the public websites, just so you understand, for real estate, they get their information, a lot of them, from the board. Okay, so list pendants, IMAPP is going directly to the county. So if the board doesn't have a foreclosure property listed for sale, most likely those public websites is not going to have it. Okay, if you do want lists like this, you got to pay like hundreds of dollars for these lists. So take advantage, take a screenshot, post it on your Facebook, list pendants, Coral Gables area. You know, even if they're not for sale, somebody's going to call and say, well, Lazaro, I'm looking to buy a foreclosure. Is there any way you can help me? Well, maybe you guys, if you see a property here, reach out to the owner and see if you can make an offer. Because my understanding, before the foreclosure process completes, if they can present a valuable offer to the court, they might be able to buy it. Now, here's a tip. Call the Florida Realtors legal hotline, because you want to make sure that you and your potential buyer have some sort of agreement. You don't want to connect the owner and the buyer and then they leave you out, right? So there's contracts from Florida Realtors that can help you with that. I strongly recommend the legal hotline for anything, not just for today. Your friends are not attorneys most of the time. You might have some friends that are attorneys. Just because one realtor did it doesn't mean it's legal for you to do it. So be careful. So if you go here, Florida Realtors, laws and ethics, Florida Realtors legal hotline, it's included in your membership. Attorneys these days, they cost like $300 an hour, and you can call one at no additional cost. All right, so we're finishing up here. So this screenshot for the list pendants, do it also for the delinquent taxes. Put delinquent taxes in such and such area and post that. Okay, don't forget to put the source where you got it. If you're not sure, you go down here. This property key is the actual corporation. Just copy this line right here and put it with your post. Source, and then just copy this. All right. So here's a tip. Evictions. IMAPP doesn't have it, but the CMA is great on IMAPP. So I recommend going to the county. So I'm going to go to Google here, and I'm going to type in Miami-Dade eviction search. The one that you want to look for is this one here, OCS search Miami-Dade County. Not all counties give this information for free. I know Broward charges. So how do you search on this website? Here's a tip. Put a common last name. So for example, Gonzalez, okay? Then you're gonna wanna go here, case type, and you're gonna wanna select evictions residential, okay? Anything filed at the beginning of the year. So to today's date. Okay, I'm not a robot. Search. Do we got any? Yeah, we do. So you want to look for a case that is open. So the question becomes, how could I know who is the person being evicted? What's the property in question? So if you open up here, the case through the letter I, you scroll down to where it says dockets. And sometimes they'll have a document. Okay, in this case, they didn't. So let's try the next one. Okay, let's go back here to results. Let's go to another open case. Oh, probably because it was really open like yesterday. So let's try to get one from last month. Here, October 28th. Dockets. Okay, you want to look for the form that says complaint. Most of the time in this form, you'll see the address. So I'm going to open this up, view court doc. And here is the property. Doral West Apartments, 5512 Northwest 114th Avenue, apartment 106. So what you want to do is, if you're doing any skip tracing online, okay, is try to find who the owner is of this property. So IMAPP can help you find the owner, and then you can use a skip trace website to find the contact information. So if I do a new search here, property address, copy paste, 5512 Northwest 114th Avenue, apartment 106. Search, didn't find it. It might be that this might be like a private community, but you get the idea. Also here, you get the defendants, Ada D. Gonzalez and Jose Gonzalez. So if they're being evicted, right? This is a potential renter. So if you're able to find their information on some public website, you know more or less of what they owe. So they owe about $2,040 per month. So that's the rental price. So if you're able to find Ada's email somewhere on the public sector, do a matrix search and send Ada rentals between 1,800 and 2,000. So powerful knowing what Ada was renting for. And if you're able to find her something for less, oh, but why can't they just go to Zillow and look for rentals? They can. But individuals like things of value. So if you as an agent took it upon yourself to email them rentals in this area between 1,800 and 2,000, which is what they were renting before, they're going to open up that email, as opposed if you just send, hey, rentals in Brickell for $4,000 a month, single family homes. That didn't match Ada. Ada was renting an apartment for $2,040. They're most likely to open up that email as see the other one I just mentioned. Okay. So I think I gave you plenty of tips where you can find information in different sources, combine it with IMAPP, help you grow your business. I want to thank everybody at Lifestyle for giving Property King IMAPP the opportunity today to train Again, this class is recorded, so you can go back, review it at your own pace. Do we have some questions here? Oh, okay, where is the class being recorded to? I would tell I'm gonna reach out to your training department so they can send out an email so you guys can find it. All right, we are done for today, everybody. Have a great day.